understand Superman is the new trending topic right now, but I unfortunately was not able to get into any of the early screenings for that, so I won't be able to see that until tomorrow night. So for now, let's finally talk about the first of the trinity of July blockbusters. Jurassic World Rebirth is the newest entry in the Jurassic Park franchise. This one directed by Gareth Edwards and written by David Koepp, who also helped write the first Jurassic Park movie. This movie takes place, I believe it's said, around 30 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion. At this point, dinosaurs have died out on the mainland a little bit. You know, they've mostly migrated to the warmer parts of the world, the places where they can survive. They don't really interact with humans anymore, at least not as much. However, on an island where a lot of these dinosaurs are, a company, or a corporate guy rather, wants to send a group of people to this island to steal DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs to help create a drug that will cure heart disease and save millions of lives. This team consists of Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and Mahershala Ali. They take their team, they go to this island. They also run into this family that they stumbled upon along the way. They all end up shipwrecked on an island full of dinosaurs, and now it's just trying to survive. You all know me at this point. I am a massive fan of Jurassic Park. That is my all-time favorite movie. I absolutely love everything about it. And because it's one of the most influential, successful, and greatest movies ever, it's naturally been given a franchise and a bunch of sequels, among them being the Jurassic World series of movies. And my stance on the Jurassic World movies is basically this. The first one is enjoyable, it's solid, but it's by no means great. Fallen Kingdom and Dominion both were ass. And when I found out we were getting a 4th Jurassic World, I went into it pretty lukewarm. I was like, I mean, I'll probably check it out, but I have no hope for it whatsoever. I will say I did like the directing choice of Gareth Edwards. I've seen what he's done with Rogue One and Godzilla. That gave me some level of hope in the sense like, okay, if anyone could direct a solid sequel to Jurassic Park, it probably would be him. I also like seeing David Koepp come back to write this movie, considering he wrote the first Jurassic Park. You have someone who maybe could bring it back to its roots a little bit. And I thought the cast was pretty good. So I did go into this movie like maybe, just maybe, they've learned their lessons from the previous Jurassic World movies. Maybe this is where they finally give Jurassic Park its worthy sequel. And I will say, one positive I do want to give this movie, namely a positive I want to give to Gareth Edwards, is I really appreciate the grand scope and scale that he recaptures with the dinosaurs here, because that's something I feel like has been missing in the previous Jurassic Park movies. I mean, I knew with what he did with his 2014 Godzilla that he'd be able to really capture the scale and the magnitude of these animals, and he absolutely does that. There are moments where characters are around these dinosaurs and you just feel how big they are, how massive they are, how impressive they are. Like, yeah, these are not something you should encounter every day. These are not something that you should experience on a daily basis. So when you see them, it should be something to behold. There's a scene in this movie that really recaptures the ooh, ah, wonder that we got in that first Jurassic Park. You know, in the first Jurassic Park when the main characters encounter the Brachiosaurus for the first time, and it's just one of the most mind-blowing moments in the history of movies. I'm not going to say this moment was like that, but it did give me a nostalgic feeling like that, and I appreciated it. I will say though, one thing that this movie doesn't fully capture with the wonder sense of these dinosaurs is there are still moments in this movie, namely in the beginning, where we still see that dinosaurs still exist among humans, but it's really reached a point where humans just view them as like pests kind of at this point. I think there's one scene, this guy's trying to get to work and it's a bunch of traffic because a big dinosaur is stuck in the road. He's like, hey, get that damn dinosaur out of the road. I'm like, I still don't think that's really the reaction people would have. I mean, hell, I could see something as simple as a deer in the middle of the road and I could stop and be like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. I don't see that every day. And if I did see it every day, I wouldn't like roll my eyes out or something like that. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, the fact that this is a full-blown dinosaur in the middle of the road, the fact that he's acting like it's this ridiculous little pest, I just don't buy it. I will say this much though with the dinosaurs, but I also think the movie did fairly well is, for the most part anyway, I'll touch on this more later, it made the dinosaurs feel like animals again. It didn't really make them monsters. Well, this is the dinosaurs that we know and love, the dinosaurs that we've seen a million times in these Jurassic Park movies. They felt like animals again. They felt like these like evil, monstrous creatures that, you know, the previous Jurassic World movies have kind of made them feel like animals again. It is what they are, and that's how they should be portrayed, so that was good. I'll touch on some of the decisions they made with other dinosaurs later. Now let's shift into the human element of this movie. I mean, I'll be blatantly honest, the human element of this movie is, once again, it's pretty weak. I mean, the main crew of heroes that we have, Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Mahershala Ali, they're all extremely generic for the most part. There's one moment between Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. They're both like these soldiers of sorts, or at least special operations people of sorts, and they sit down, they have a conversation with each other, and it's one of those like, really quick, let's just speed through it so characters can, or rather the audience can maybe attempt to care about us. Like one hand, it's like, oh hey, what happened to your partner? Oh, lost them in an accident. Oh, was it quick? No, it wasn't. What's going on in your life? Well, my wife left me, but I still have my son. It's like, oh, well, I hope you get home to him. It's like in the course of like 30 seconds, they tell us like a brief lowdown of them, what they've been through, who they are, because it's like, okay, here you go, here's who you should care about. And I really like that. It's kind of the movie's way of beating over your head. It's like, okay, here's the characters you should care about, here's the ones you don't want to die. Everyone else is expendable. It's like you could have done a little bit more character development with these characters as the movie goes along, but it never really does that. They're just completely wooden for the most part. If at any point they turn a leaf or they realize something that was wrong or they realize what they should be doing, you don't really buy it. It's just there because the script says so. The only human character that I cared about, or not even cared about, but was interested in for a moment, at least a little bit, was Jonathan Bailey's character. He's basically just a scientist that's along for this journey. He's the one who will directly collect the DNA from these dinosaurs to create the drug. He gives a monologue at one point when they're shipwrecked on the island, and he says something along the lines of like, dinosaurs were around for millions of years. The human race, we're not gonna last anywhere near that long. It's in our nature, we're destructive, we're incompetent, we're doomed. It's like, and because we do shit like this is why. He said something along those lines, I'm just like, yeah, I kind of agree with him. Oh, and yeah, the family that's in this movie. Okay. The family, for me, didn't provide anything to the movie itself. The family's just here for the sake of having another group of people to care about, but I couldn't have given a fuck. I mean, you have a dad with his two daughters, the older daughter has a boyfriend, and, you know, they just end up in these uncharted waters. They get attacked by the dinosaurs, and then, you know, they get rescued by the soldiers, and now they're all just a big group. But the family itself just creates a bunch of ridiculous questions. It's like, wait a minute, I thought Mahershala Ali said something like, no one's dumb enough to go where we're going, or there's a bunch of security even to prevent restricted access from getting into this island. So how is this family here in the middle of the ocean right now? The father at one point even says, like, oh, we venture this way all the time, we've never encountered a dinosaur. It's like, so why was now the time you did? Just because the movie said so? It just created more questions that didn't make sense for the story and didn't make sense for the movie. It's just like, I don't know, we need a family with kids in here because people care about kids. And yeah, like I said, the family is completely generic, they're ridiculous, and I gotta tell you, the boyfriend of the oldest daughter, I fucking hated this guy. He's an arrogant little shit. He walks around with his shirt off all the time. I don't even know what the point of that was. He's a scrawny little fuck. It's not like he's selling any sex appeal to the female audience out there. Like, what was the point of it? It's like, dude, put a fucking shirt on. Completely acts like he's hot shit, and then when he's in the jungle with all of them, he clearly is terrified of everything, doesn't know what to do, doesn't feel like he fits in with any of them. You look at the older daughter, and at one point the reference is like, what do you see in him? And she doesn't even really give an answer. I know he tries at several points to make it seem like he's redeeming himself or doing heroic things, but it never worked. I never at any point looked at this guy and was like, okay, I care about you now. Other props I will give this movie, however, too, shifting away from the fan for just a second, is this movie did what I've been banging on the table for Jurassic World movies to do for so long, since the beginning. They actually made a legit attempt to make this movie more of a thriller. There are moments in this movie with the dinosaurs when they're chasing the humans and they're going after people where legitimately I was kind of on the edge of my seat. Like, I could feel the heart rate picking up a little bit. I was standing there like, oh, holy shit, what's gonna happen? And not necessarily because I was caring about the characters exactly, but I was just kind of putting myself in the position these characters were in. It's like, yeah, these dinosaurs, you're here in their territory and they're gonna kill you. It's like, I would be terrified. Again, that's what I appreciate. They made the dinosaurs scary again. That's what I have wanted. However, the problem with the thrills in this movie is I feel like there were moments where they could have gone a little further, you know, went a little bit more of the extra mile, and that would have put it over the top and made it feel really thrilling and scary. It's like, they could have gone there, but they don't. Like, just a little bit further, like someone important is really in jeopardy or something really bad happens to really emphasize the danger that these characters are in, and it would have made other moments later on a little bit more thrilling. Like, what is without question the best scene in this movie is the river raft scene with the T-Rex, which apparently was taken right out of the Jurassic Park novel itself. It's a scene the family's involved in, they get on a raft, a T-Rex is chasing them, and shit was undeniably intense. But again, there is a moment later on where the scene ends and they could have gone a little bit further. They could have really taken a leap that I would have appreciated. It would have been, you know, unsettling, it would have been disturbing, but it would have worked. Like, it would have established, like, no, the characters you think are untouchable, they are not necessarily untouchable. We will go this far, we will go to this level, and we will make you feel that type of way. But no, the scene just kind of ends very abruptly, and the characters kind of laugh it off. I hate that shit. Like, what happened in the good old days where you were almost killed by a dinosaur and it traumatized you? Now it's like, oh, we were almost killed by a dinosaur. It's like, oh, we almost got hit by a car or something. All right, let's just press on. It's just unrealistic. I don't buy that shit. And yeah, in case you're wondering, yes, that cringy, ridiculous, stupid humor that's been in these Jurassic World movies now, yeah, it's still here. And again, this is part of what brings the thrills down a little bit. Like, there could be a moment where something kind of jumps out and is a little bit different or terrifying or leaves you with mystery and you're wondering what it is. And then, I don't know, a character just has to immediately go back to doing the dumb thing that they were doing just to generate some laughs. Look, there were people in my audience that were laughing when it went down, so I'm not gonna say that humor is not for everybody necessarily, but it definitely wasn't for me. It took away a tension-filled moment that could have worked. I mean, the argument to be made is like maybe these Jurassic World movies want to be more family-focused or something like that, but look, I saw the first Jurassic Park when I was like 5. I turned out okay. Kids can handle a little bit of scary shit. It's okay. The film just doesn't want to go there. It doesn't have any balls anymore. It's just, yeah, the film's just being soft. Oh, and yeah, the ending of this movie, the finale of this movie, it is the most anticlimactic ending we've maybe had in any Jurassic Park movie. And I'm serious when I say that. And even Jurassic World Dominion had a brief dino showdown at the end of it. This has nothing like that. I mean, once again, we gotta bring the mutant dinosaurs in. The D-Rex, which was marketed as like what's gonna be the big baddie dinosaur in this movie. Okay, let's talk about this thing, huh? It is the shittiest, dumbest looking dinosaur I've ever seen. What the fuck was this thing? I mean, it's got like 6 limbs. I don't even know if it has eyes. It has a big bulging head. It looks like something that a stupid little kid drew, wants you to put on the fridge, and because you're its parent, you know, alright, it can go on the fridge, but the second company comes over, you tear that fucking thing down, and you don't let them look at your kid like, oh, is he okay? That's how fucking stupid this dinosaur looked. I shit you not. Like I said, the dinosaur doesn't even do anything. It has a scene in the beginning that's supposed to be thrilling, and it kind of is, but then you remember the way that scene started off, and it was really stupid. And then you do not see that dinosaur at all for the remainder of the movie until this final act. So you ask yourself, what's the point of it even being here? There's even this other dinosaur. It's like this blend between a velociraptor and a pterodactyl and a bird or something. I don't even know what this fucking thing was. But again, this thing doesn't really show up until the final act of this movie. Again, it has a very brief moment earlier in the movie, then it shows up for this, and you know, it's meant to like mimic like the kitchen scene with the velociraptors in the first one, but you know, they're going for nostalgia here, but you know, in that scene, it's thrilling, it's intense. Here I'm like, yeah, I've seen this exact scene before, and I saw it with a dinosaur that was real, or was once real. Now you're just recreating the scene with a dinosaur. I don't even know what the fuck this thing is. Like, these stupid dinosaurs were brought into this movie as a means to just sell toys. That is why they're fucking here. That's just disappointing to me. It's like, at that point, like, why not just replace the D-Rex and put a T-Rex in? Bring the T-Rex that was in the river raft scene, or replace these mutant hawk dinosaur raptors with real velociraptors. Like, use the dinosaurs that we were a fan of. Use the dinosaurs that made Jurassic Park the iconic movie that it was. Like, don't just have one scene with a T-Rex and a sprinkled in moment of a velociraptor in this movie and say that you're trying to make a worthy Jurassic Park movie. It's like, yeah, at that point, it's like, hey, you want to see your favorite dinosaurs in this Jurassic Park movie? Sure, we're gonna get them for one scene if you're lucky. And then they're just gonna replace with these made-up dinosaurs as means to sell toys. That's what it fucking is here, people. Like, yeah, the genetically modified hybrid, that worked for the first Jurassic World movie. Since then, they have completely bled that concept dry, and now I hate the mutants. I don't want them anymore. Just stop. And yeah, it's a very predictable, anticlimactic ending. It wanted you to feel emotional. It wanted you to care, and by the time the really intense shit is wrapped up, the movie just wraps up immediately, and you're just like, oh, okay, I guess it's done with now. So all in all, Jurassic World Rebirth, is it better than the last two Jurassic World movies? Yes. Is it a good movie? No. I can give Gareth Edwards credit for recapturing the scope and the wonder mostly for these dinosaurs once again. I can appreciate that he made some form of an attempt to make this movie a thriller. I guess I'll at least say that. I do think Gareth Edwards is probably the right director for these Jurassic Park movies going forward, but I mean, he needs help with just about everything else because he can't do this on his own. The human characters, none of them are anyone that you care that much about. By the end of it, you're rooting for the dinosaurs. You want to see people die. That's what you're just rooting for at this point. And that's not what you should be rooting for. The stupid, cringy Jurassic World humor, it's back here in it. It compromises the thrilling scenes. It compromises moments with the characters. The writing's dumb. Even the mission that the characters are on, when you start breaking it down in your head, it kind of makes you just fall out of it. Oh yeah, the movie is chock full of conveniences. There are a lot of moments where characters should die or something happens to a certain character, but, you know, they leave behind something that's very important. You're just like, wow, this is convenient as fuck. You'll never be sucked into the world of Jurassic World here. You're just gonna be watching and be like, yep, I'm watching a movie. The dinosaurs you know and love still look cool, but they're not in the movie for very much, or not as much as I would have wanted them to be. The mutant dinosaurs, they're here solely for the final act of the movie. They provide not much else to it. They're just here as a gimmick to sell merch. The movie overly relies on nostalgia, and some of the nostalgia is nice, some of it just feels desperate. And in the end, I would love to say that this is where the Jurassic World franchise is finally going to stop, but the reality is this: the movie is absolutely killing it at the box office right now, so yeah, this franchise is just gonna keep on going. It's kind of like this. This franchise has become a lot like the Fast and Furious and Transformers franchise. Like, these movies are silly, ridiculous, pretty stupid, very unbelievable, but they make a fuckload of money. They clearly have an audience. And that's what I know some people are gonna be in the comment section like, well, you know, Connor, maybe you're just not part of the audience for the Jurassic World movies. And you know something? I agree with you there. But the problem is this: the Jurassic Park movie that these movies are based off of was absolutely a movie for everybody. It's one of the best movies ever. And that's where franchises like Fast and Furious and Transformers can get away with being a little more generic and stupid and, you know, nuts, is because those movies never started off with anything epic, anything monumental, anything iconic. They were always what they were, and therefore you can go into those movies expecting, you know, just the same old shit. But because the Jurassic Park franchise kicked off with one of the best movies ever, people naturally, fans of that movie anyway, will always go into these Jurassic World movies hoping they finally reach something of that level. And the sad reality is, because these very silly, generic, dumb Jurassic World movies keep making a shit $1 trillion, they will never get that message. They believe this is what the audience wants, and these are sadly the movies we are just probably going to get for the foreseeable future. And as a Jurassic Park fan, that breaks my heart a little bit. I'm gonna give Jurassic World Rebirth a 4 out of 10, which makes it fucking background noise at best. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.